strangle him because, you know, some of the some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
Right, so you feel like Puffy, he should be paying consequences for Biggie's murder.
I think that lining that kid up there, out there, yeah, he should be paying some consequences for it.
And me knowing Puff, I know he did it on purpose. I think Puff sacrificed him, man. I know it sounds far-fetched. I was one of the people that didn't believe he did his account.
Sit down, because the truth about Biggie's death might finally be coming out, and Diddy's name is all over it, all right. Y'all, you're going to want to sit down for this one, because what's coming out now might change everything we thought we knew about Biggie's death. New information has started circulating that could shake the music industry in a major way, and at the center of it all is Diddy. Word going around is that Biggie's late mother, Violetta Wallace, had been secretly working on a tell-all book before she passed away. That's right, she wasn't just grieving behind the scenes. She was doing her own investigation into what really happened to her son. And now, years later, her family has apparently found a hidden diary and some unfinished chapters from that book. What's inside? Allegedly, some serious accusations, ones that connect Diddy directly to Biggie's murder. Sources close to the Wallace family say the diary includes pages of handwritten notes, timelines, and even evidence that Violetta collected herself. Supposedly, she believed the original investigation into her son's death was a total cover-up. But she didn't stop at suspicions. She reportedly uncovered enough details to link Diddy to the crime. Even more shocking, insiders claim she had physical proof receipts and documents stored at her house that backed up everything she believed. And now, that material is said to be in the hands of her siblings, who might be planning to release it to the public through a publishing deal.
They got pictures of Mir Muhammad at that thing. Why was he there? Why was he there? In a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie. Why did he walk up to me and Puff's car? Do you understand me? Why 5 to 8 to 10 minutes later, Lil C see a guy in a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie, peanut head, shoot big. I know who walked up to us, brother. You understand me?
If that happens, y'all, it could blow the lid off the entire case. Let's rewind for a second. Biggie's death remains one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in music history. He was gunned down in 1997 in Los Angeles, and nobody has ever been charged. The case has stayed cold for decades. But one name keeps coming up over and over again in connection to that night: Amir Muhammad. Some of Biggie's close friends believed Amir was the shooter. Official reports even said he fit the exact description of the man who pulled the trigger that night, a guy in a blue suit, white shirt, and blue bow tie. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, says he saw Amir just before the shooting and is convinced Amir was the one who killed Biggie. The timing, the clothes, the location, everything matched. But no one was arrested. Now here's where things get even more suspicious. People have long believed that Biggie's murder was tied to the East Coast versus West Coast rap beef. Remember, Tupac was killed just 6 months before Biggie, and the theory was that Biggie's murder was revenge for Tupac's death. But if Violetta's book really proves that Diddy was involved, then it wasn't just about East versus West, it was personal. And it may have been about business. According to folks who've seen parts of the diary and draft book, Violetta believed Diddy had Biggie killed because Biggie was getting ready to leave Bad Boy Records. Biggie had apparently received an offer from another record label worth around $62 million. That deal came with better terms, more control, and a lot more money than he ever made with Diddy. Now, let's be real, $62 million is no small offer. If Biggie had left Bad Boy, it would have been a huge blow to Diddy's empire. Diddy had invested a lot in Biggie, but at the same time, he was benefiting heavily from Biggie's success. Losing his biggest star might have meant losing millions. So instead of letting him walk away, did Diddy do something darker? Here's something else to consider. When Biggie signed with Bad Boy, he was young and didn't know much about the music business. He got a $25,000 advance, which at the time seemed like a fortune. But once he learned more, he realized Diddy had control over most of his publishing rights. That's when Biggie started quietly putting his rights under other names to protect himself. He knew something wasn't right, and he started planning his exit. According to Gene Deal, who was around Diddy and Biggie all the time, things got really tense behind the scenes.
Big had to listen to Puff. You know, he had to listen to Puff because Puff owned his publishing and his marketing, and he wanted it back. He found out how important that was for artists and somebody in this business. So he had to listen to him. He had to, go against what he may have even thought was right or wrong.
Gene says Biggie was unhappy and wanted out. And when the opportunity for that $62 million deal came, Biggie was ready to leave. That's when things allegedly turned dark. Kirk Burroughs, the former president of Bad Boy Records, has also spoken out. He claims Biggie didn't even want to go to Los Angeles.
And Big was showing me a contract because I was saying to Big, Big was like, yo, Gene, I like you. I would take you with me, bruh. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Little Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray,
Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee, and the Commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million, it comes out to like $62 million. I was like, that's what I said. I was like, damn.
Where he was ultimately killed. Biggie wanted to go to London instead, but Diddy talked him into going to LA for the Soul Train Awards. Kirk said that Diddy didn't give Biggie proper security for that trip and that the whole situation fell off. Like Biggie had been left vulnerable on purpose. Kirk's not alone. Gene Deal also backed up that story. He said Biggie was hesitant and had a bad feeling about going to LA.
I seen an interview that Puffy did with Fat Joe where he was talking about Biggie in his last moments in LA, and he told Fat Joe that he didn't want to go to LA. He actually wanted to go to London, but Biggie, he was the one that wanted to go to LA, and he was the one that was pushing to go to LA.
That's not true. My name is Kirk Burroughs. I ran Bad Boy Entertainment. I helped co-found it. I created the company with him. I raised from general manager to president. And at that time, I put all of those business plans together. And Biggie didn't want to go to LA, ended up going. What got him out there was a week ahead of time to ease him into the whole award show. He may not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever, a rapper of your stature getting this treatment, that would be something he would be interested in doing, but he was easily talked out of it by Sean so that they can make an appearance at an event in LA that Saturday night, a part of the posturing.
But Diddy kept pressuring him. Gene said it was strange how Diddy pushed so hard for that trip, especially knowing the tension between East and West Coast artists at the time. And y'all, Diddy has a long history of shady behavior. Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, accused him of abuse and other serious misconduct in her recent lawsuit. One of the wildest claims was that Diddy had Kid Cudi's car blown up because he was getting too close to Cassie. And there was that incident where Diddy allegedly
about a year or two ago, went on air and he told the story about the night he went to the Notorious Big room. He told the story about the night he went to the Notorious Big room when Big was about to go to the Peterson Museum. He told Big not to go. He asked Big, what is he going there for anyway? And he said that Big told him that D-Rock and Puff set it up for him to go there.
And her siblings are reportedly shopping that material around to publishers. If that book ever sees the light of day, it could finally bring justice to Biggie's name and expose Diddy for who he really is. The internet has been going crazy over this news. Fans who followed the case for years are now revisiting Gene Deal's interviews and piecing everything together. One fan wrote, "If you listen to Gene's story about Biggie's last days, you can clearly see how Diddy sacrificed him. He used Biggie's death to push Bad Boy and sell more records." Another said Diddy had to offer Biggie to the West Coast or they would have come for him. There was no way Diddy or Biggie would get out untouched after Tupac died. It was going to happen either in LA or somewhere else. People are now questioning Diddy's entire legacy. Some fans believe he's had shady dealings with other artists too. They've brought up stories about money going missing, artists getting robbed, and people being silenced. The group, The Locks, even went after Diddy in court to get their money back, and they won. So who knows how many other artists he took advantage of? The truth is, the more you look at it, the more it seems like Biggie's death wasn't just a tragic accident. It might have been a calculated move. And if what Valletta Wallace wrote in her diary is true, then the man behind it all wasn't a rival or a stranger, it was someone Biggie trusted. It's heartbreaking to think about. But at the same time, it's powerful to know that Valletta never gave up on finding justice for her son. Even in silence, she was doing the work. And now her words might finally get out into the world. So what do you think? Do you believe Diddy had something to do with Biggie's death? Or do you think this is just another conspiracy theory making the rounds? Either way, one thing's clear: this story is far from over. And when that book finally drops, it might just bring the truth with it.